Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Burning Roar podcast. I'm Jake Scarborough, joined by my co-host Matthew Stotts, and we are here with our special guest Rajah Caruth. Rajah, how you doing today?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We're
Doing
doing
good, man.
good.
Doing good.
Well, it is a blast to have you on, but obviously to get into a swing of things, um, this is your first full-time year in the truck series with GMS. And just truck series as general. So, how's this year coming along for you, and how's it feel to be in there full time?
I'm really excited this year. Honestly, this winter has been honestly one of the most fun times I've had here at GMS. From being at the shop to having workouts at the tech center and doing things with my teammates here at GMS and at Legacy Motor Club, but also in the Chevrolet Full has been um, just a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed having the resources at my disposal to work as hard as I can on my craft away from the racetrack. And so once we get to the track, we can be ready to go. It's like I said, been a big dream so far, and I just can't wait to get to the racetrack. I'm excited for this little 5 race stretch we'll have going, and uh, we've got some decent points through the stages, but the results haven't been in our favor. So I think we'll turn that around in this 5 week stretch.
I got you. I got you. So, like Jake said, first full time year in the truck series. You've
Yeah,
also, I think it's your second part time season. I think you did some races for Alpha. Did you do races for Alpha Prime last year? I think you did. Just talk a little
yeah.
bit about that for Xfinity. I mean, I know that's got to be huge to be doing some races with them. And just how you're learning from the trucks and to Xfinity cars in little type of time.
Yeah, honestly, I don't feel like. I mean, I am a rookie because I'm still super inexperienced as a whole in my racing career compared to everybody that I'm racing against. But at the same time, I really don't feel like a rookie. Like, I mean, I ran the full arc. I've run arc races and East races for the last 2 years. I've ran 10 truck and Xfinity. Well, I guess technically 11, but combined truck and Xfinity races last year. So I feel like, especially going to some of these racetracks again, I don't feel like a rookie at all. With that being said, I've got a really experienced group of individuals around me, from my crew chief Chad Walter to my engineer Sydney and my spotter Chris Lambert, and I've got some really good mechanics too. So I'm excited again about this 5 week stretch coming up, and really doing the races out Alpha Prime in the Xfinity Series is just extra seat time and ways for me to improve as a driver and improve on things like pit road and situational awareness and being able to be versatile as the race goes on. So I feel really good about the rest of this year, especially going to Charlotte. And I mean, every truck race honestly have circled for different reasons. I
Yeah.
feel like I can be competitive at every single one. Same with the Xfinity stuff. Given the car I'm in, right? Like I know I'm
Yeah.
not in I'm not in a cup affiliate Xfinity car, but I know I can kind of be the best of the rest, which I have for the most part been with my last 3 or 4 Xfinity races with Alpha Prime Racing.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, yeah, your first full time season in trucks, you've been part time past 2 years in Xfinity. How would you say that part time experience just last year has helped you out moving into this year?
It's really paid dividends in both series. From the Craftsman Truck Series races I ran last year with Bono and Grecian and Spire, and then also my Xfinity races with Tommy and Caesar. I think they helped me exponentially from as a competitor, the things I need to do away from the racetrack to be prepared, but also like mentally, how I need to be thinking about it. Because honestly, with those truck races I ran last year, I put so much pressure on myself. I was like, my career rides on this. I need to win these races, and obviously didn't, right? But I just put way too much pressure on myself and kind of made myself insane for those races and really stunned my performance. Whereas in the Xfinity stuff, I really came into that with an open mind, and I felt like that helped me a lot. So, uh, in addition to those experiences last year, I think going to places again like St. Louis and Richmond and Bristol and Phoenix are going to just pay dividends to me, and especially again with my time in the Xfinity car last year. I don't feel like a rookie, and I know, like I said, exponentially I know I'm kind of behind, but in my chest, I don't feel like that, and I'll put in the work to continue to improve.
So you talked about earlier about coming up from ARCA and all that. And how would you describe your career? Like how did Rev Racing, like what did it do to your career? Like how did it help you? How did it make a path for you leading up to trucks and part-time for Xfinity?
Excuse me. I mean, we wouldn't be talking if it wasn't for Rev, for Max Siegel, and the NASCAR Driver Diversity Program. They gave me my first shot. That I'm to this day, I guess, the only iRacing kid they've ever given a chance, and they've developed me from legend cars through late model stocks, the E Series, and the Arca Menard Series National Tour. And again, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been to this point. They were patient, especially in the first couple of years in legend cars where I honestly sucked, and they allowed me to make mistakes. That I mean, I was there putting in the work, right, but the results didn't show for a little while, and I got my feet under me, running late model stocks, and uh, picked up some wins, and they just kind of stuck with me all the way up to last year. So, um, it's really thanks to them for developing me up until last year. And the things I learned and how I grew as a driver and as a young man are things that I'll never forget. Because honestly, at that shop, I feel like I grew up. When I first moved here, I was just racing late models and legend cars, and I was at that shop every day from 7 to 4, and um, was like that for the last 2 to 3 years. So I grew up there, and um, hopefully, not hopefully, I am continuing that path here at GMS, and to be aligned with them and Maury and Mike and Ron, and also with General Motors and Chevy is a dream come true.
Yeah, and you already mentioned working alongside Legacy. Obviously, they're under the whole GMS is under that banner. So, what's it like to be a part of a program that involves two historic drivers in NASCAR, being seven-time champions, Richard Petty, Jimmy Johnson? What's it like to kind of you know have them to kind of work with, essentially?
It's honestly really awesome. Jimmy Johnson was one of my heroes and is still. But when I was 7, 9 years old, like I was watching him on Sundays and Saturdays, and it was insane when the news came out that he was gonna be an owner here at Legacy. And um, when I got the deal signed, it was a dream come true. So obviously with Richard, I built a relationship with fortunately with Richard and Jimmy so far, and there's some really awesome individuals with great people around them, and it's been very surreal so far, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And they've gave me some really nice gems to apply to not only my driving, but also how to be a young man in the sport.
Yeah, and seeing the way you've come up, like you said, through Legends, Arca, and trucks and stuff, it's cool to see and it's awesome. But what truly motivated you to really, I guess, attack on these goals and opportunities you were given?
That's a good question. For the longest, I drove and I found drew motivation from wanting to meet other people's expectations and say, "Oh, I don't suck," and to go a certain or live up to certain expectations and standards. And really, the last 6 months, like I've just changed that, and it's made me feel a lot better. It's like I ain't got to prove nothing to anybody. I know that I'm putting in the effort, and I've got what it takes. So the results have shown partially, and they will continue to show, in full force. So, I mean, I just try to stay motivated and do the best I can, because the motivation for me just comes from A, my passion and desire, but B, intrinsically just wanting to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, and something you mentioned earlier was how with Rev you were their only iRacing guy that they've brought
Yeah.
on. You kind of started over on PlayStation. Heck, you raced with Matthew on PlayStation, and then you move
Yes.
you move forward to
That was fun.
iRacing.
That was fun.
So, what is it that iRacing really has done? Because a lot of people obviously don't realize what iRacing is capable of, especially in modern days now.
Yeah, I mean the look, yes, I'm partnered with iRacing, but it's legit. And I got fortunate the year I jumped on in 2018 that they had the Ignite series, and I did good enough to get noticed. And so iRacing now is legit enough to have that platform to where it can give guys their first break, but also the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series is a great way to make a living for some of them guys. Well, actually, I don't know what they get paid, so let me not say that. But I mean, it's the real deal, and so it's awesome to see how prominent iRacing has become and how realistic it is. Because honestly, I'm on it pretty frequently, and it's a big tool for me. Or there's Richard and Dale. You want to? Got you doing? Man? You want to come in my interview?
We what?
You want to come in my interview?
Interview?
On my computer.
Oh, you're being interviewed?
Yeah. You guys want to say what's up to Richard real quick?
Yeah.
I'll turn off the background.
Oh,
Oh,
the
there.
king. How's it going,
yeah,
King?
it's the king.
I come check on you guys.
Hey, Dale.
How you doing? How you doing? We're trying to keep him straight.
He's
Hey,
doing a good job.
yeah, yeah. It's
We're on our way. See you guys.
see you, King.
But
See you.
For qualifying, you better practice holding your breath.
Deal.
That's something you don't expect every day.
oh man, that was cool.
Yeah, put the background back on for y'all. All right, cool. I forgot what we was talking about. But
About iRacing, essentially.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the real deal, and I'm fortunate to be alive right now, where it's I don't know what the word is. I guess legit enough to be a place where drivers can make their living, but also potentially get their big break towards racing in real life. And I'm on it very frequently, and it's a big tool for me. And hopefully, it'll show up places like Coda and Darlington and North Wilkesboro that I haven't been so far, but I can race on the simulator, on my personal simulator, and be as plugged in as I can be. So when I get on the Chevrolet DIL and get on the real racetrack, then I'll be up to speed.
So, like you said multiple times, obviously you came from a league racing, mainly iRacing background. And you talked about how it caught eyes of, ARC, Rev Racing and stuff like that. How big of a help do you think it was to build you up, to put you in not just the Legends car, but to get you moving up steps and possibly be at the next level here in who knows how many years?
Honestly, I mean, I feel like every part of racing that I've done in my entire life, from when I was a fan for years and years, and watching races and practices and the television shows all the time, to making stop motions, racing on PlayStation, getting on iRacing, and then obviously starting my real life journey. I think it's all been cumulative to where I'm at now, not only as a driver, but like also like as from an identity point, because I mean, I know, I would say, pretty a lot about the history of the sport, and I'm really starting to learn about it technically, and at the same time learning about the people. And so, basically, what I've learned on my own the last 15 years, I would say, has all been cumulative to this point. So I hope that answers your question, but I feel like everything I've done has helped me so far, and it will continue as I get older and grow into the sport.
Well, looking back, like let's say 5 years ago, looking back on it, would you have ever imagined getting into the position you are now and where you've worked yourself to get and the opportunities you've gotten? Would you have ever expected any of this?
I mean, honestly, 5 years ago, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was running track. I had a summer job. Um, yeah, yeah, that's 2018. So yeah, and at this point, when I guess I don't know how a lot of high schools are. My high school, it was somewhat small, it was still public school, but basically, like, you start college stuff pretty early. And at that point in time, like I said, the college talk and discussion started really early. And honestly, for the longest, I didn't want to go. And also, like, I wanted to race, but I didn't have any chance to. So there's a lot of hopeless nights and just wondering, what was gonna happen. Would I ever get a shot? And if 16-year-old me, yeah, 16-year-old me knew that we had gotten to this point so far, I feel like we would not have believed it, but wouldn't change it any bit. So
And then finally, looking, at this year and past 2023, actually, what's your goals or your future goals that you want to accomplish after this year or at the end of this year? I want to see you win. I really do. I want to see you win the Chuck Series real bad.
yeah, I mean, I know that's going to happen this year. But my goals and expectations lie in the fact that try to do what I'm supposed to do and work every day and do whatever it takes away from the shop, away from the racetrack when nobody's looking and it's just me and God. Like, I mean, I expect to do that. And if I can fulfill that to the best of my ability, I expect to be in the playoffs. I expect to be racing for a championship and have a shot come Phoenix in November. So that's kind of where my mind's at. But, I'm going one race at a time. But similarly, like I told my team, like every race is a playoff race. That's the approach I'm bringing. I know that's the approach they're bringing, and it's gonna help us out for when it's time to dance come October and November.
And that's what everyone wants to look at it. Everyone's going to have a different way of looking at it. So hearing that, that's the best way to one race at a time instead of looking so far ahead that you're, I guess, stressing yourself or putting yourself under pressure, like you mentioned before. But nevertheless, I think that wraps things up. Matthew, do you have anything else?
That was just good to talk with him. It was good. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute, but it's also good to see
For sure.
how it's cool to see how he's done. How he's climbed up from where I last talked to him, to see him actually chase these dreams and stuff. I think he actually talked about this sometimes when we raced. I think he talked about these or these chances he was wanting, it's just cool. It's really cool. It's awesome. Cheering for him and all that.
Appreciate it.
Want
Appreciate
the
it.
best for you. I want to see you show him what it means. Be like William Byron. Show him what iRacing can do for you.
Got that right.
Well, with that being said, nevertheless, Rajah, thank you for joining us today, and good luck this weekend at Atlanta, and obviously throughout the rest of the season and going forward. And we look forward to having you back on at some point.
Appreciate it, fellas. We'll talk soon.
All right,
Yes,
will
sir.
do.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. And for everyone who tuned in, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. So, goodbye.